Good morning friends, welcome back to this session of our physics classes. Today we'll start with moment of force and couple. Physics for class 10. The topics are moment of a force and couple, uniform circular motion, work and expression for work. Moment of a force or torque. A body is pivoted at a point O if a force F is applied on the body such that the line of action is Fp in the plane of the paper. The force does not produce linear motion in its own direction because the body is free only to rotate around the pivot. So this force rotates the body around the pivot. Moment of force. The moment of force is equal to the product of magnitude of force and the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the axis of rotation. Now look at the figure below. The body is pivoted at O. A force F equal to 5 Newton is applied as shown. The perpendicular distance is 1 meter. Then the moment of force or torque equals, in this case, 5 Newton into 1 meter. We can see in the figure that the perpendicular distance is 1 meter. So we get the answer 5 Newton meter. Now look at the second figure. Here again the force is 5 Newton. But now here the perpendicular distance is 0.75 meter. As you can see, the direction of force applied has changed a little and the perpendicular distance has therefore changed. So the moment of force is 5 Newton into 0.75 meter, that is 3.75 Newton meter. In both above cases the rotation will be anti-clockwise, that is called positive rotation. Now look at this figure. In this figure the force is applied in such a manner that the rotation is clockwise and clockwise rotation is taken as negative. Now anti-clockwise rotation is positive and clockwise rotation is taken as negative. So moment of force is a vector quantity. Now the direction of rotation depends upon these 2 points, point of application of force and the direction of force. The SI unit of moment of force is equal to unit of force into unit of distance, that is Newton into meter, that is Newton meter. Now as we have seen, the moment of force is a vector quantity. Now we'll see 3 cases of a man riding a bicycle with uniform velocity. Now in all the 3 cases it is given that moment of force is the same. Here we have to be very careful to see the perpendicular distance from the line of action of force. And if it is given in centimeters, you have to convert it into meters. Now in this case we see the perpendicular distance is 5 centimeter. The pedal rod is 20 centimeter. The children may confuse. Don't use this value. Use the perpendicular distance, that is 5 centimeter. Now, so the torque or moment of force here will be 100 Newton, the value is given, into 0.05 meter, that is 5 Newton meter. Now it is given in the question that this value of moment of force, that is 5 Newton meter, should be same in all the 3 cases. Now we come to case 2. In case 2, here we see the pedal has rotated a little and now the perpendicular distance is 15 centimeter, that is 0.15 meter. Now here the moment of force will be given by F2 into 0.15 meter, and it is also given that moment of force is constant. So F2 into 0.15 meter is equal to the earlier value, that is 5 Newton meter. Using in our calculation, F2 is equal to 5 Newton meter divided by 0.15 meter, and that gives us F2 is equal to 33.33 Newton. Now we come to case 3. In case 3, we see that the pedal rod is itself the distance between the force applied and the axis of rotation, that is 20 centimeter or 0.2 meter. So in this case moment of force F3 is equal to 0.2 meter and that is again equal to 5 Newton meter as given in the question. So we calculate F3 as 5 Newton meter divided by 0.2 meter. So F3 is equal to 25 Newton. So we got F3 is equal to 25 Newton. In the above examples, we see that the value of F is largest in the first case, that is 100 Newton, and here the perpendicular distance was the least. In the second case, the value F2 is lesser when the perpendicular distance is greater than the first case, and in the third case, the value of F3, that is 25 Newton, is the least when the perpendicular distance is the largest. Now, all this for the same moment of force. From the above discussion, we come to the conclusion that the turning of a body by a force depends on the following two factors. The first, the magnitude of force applied, and the second, the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the pivoted point. Now, some examples of turning effect of force. Number 1, to open a door with less effort, we apply a force at the handle which is at maximum distance from the hinge. Second, the upper circular stone of a hand flour grinder is provided with a handle near its rim so that it can be rotated easily with less effort. Now, the third example. It is easy to open a nut with a longer handle because a lesser effort is required. Now, in all above cases, we have discussed about a single force acting on a body pivoted at a point, which is called moment of a force. Now, actually, this single force alone is not producing rotation in the body. There is a reaction force at the pivot, which is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Of course, the moment of this reaction force at pivot is 0 because the distance from pivot is 0, but the reaction force is not 0. Now, these two equal and opposite parallel forces not acting along the same straight line is called a couple. So, turning a rotation is always produced by a couple. Now, look at the figures. First shows a positive couple and second shows a negative couple, because first is anti-clockwise and second is clockwise. Many times we require a larger turning effect. In that case, both the equal and opposite forces are applied by us on the body to turn it clockwise or anti-clockwise. Look at this example. For turning the steering wheel of a truck, the driver is applying two equal and opposite forces tangentially on the large rim of the truck to turn it clockwise. Now, another example. To open the nut of a car wheel, the wrench used here has two arms and equal and opposite forces are applied on both arms by us such as to turn it in anti-clockwise direction to open it. Now, calculation of movement of a couple. Let us again see the steering wheel. Here, both forces are causing clockwise movement, as we can see, and O is the point of rotation. Also in the figure, D1 plus D2 is equal to D, that is the perpendicular distance between the forces. Now, moment of force at left hand is equal to F into D1 clockwise. Moment of force at right hand is equal to F into D2, that is also clockwise. So, total moment of couple is F into D1 plus F into D2, that is F into inside bracket D1 plus D2, that is F into D clockwise. So, we come to the definition. The moment of a couple is equal to the product of either force and the perpendicular distance between the line of action of both the forces. Now, here are some questions for you which you can solve later. Some more, try to solve them. And now we will be coming to the next session. We are going to discuss uniform circular motion. Here I have a milk can, but it is full of water. Now, just observe what I am going to do. I am going to rotate this milk can and let us see if the water falls or not. What did you see? Did the water fall? No. Why did the water not fall? That means the force was acting on water. That force is centrifugal force. So now we are going to see centripetal and centrifugal force and uniform circular motion. Now we come to uniform circular motion, centripetal and centrifugal force. Uniform circular motion. If a body moves with a constant speed in a circular path, it is said to be in uniform circular motion. In such a motion, the body travels equal distances along the circular path in equal time intervals. The speed is uniform, but the direction of motion changes at each point of the circular path. The figure below shows the change in the direction of motion of a ball tied to a string, the string being held by the man sitting at the center of the merry-go-round. The merry-go-round is rotating at a constant speed in anti-clockwise direction. At any point, the direction of motion of the ball is along the tangent drawn at that point of the circle. Now, a particle in motion should move with a uniform speed in a straight line path unless acted upon by an external force. We have learned this in our previous class while studying Newton's first law of motion. In this uniform circular motion, the force required to keep the ball in a circular path is provided by the string held by the person. The force exerted by the string is towards the center of the circular path, and this force is called centripetal force. In uniform circular motion, the magnitude of this force is constant, but the direction changes at each point of the circular path. But this force is always directed towards the center of the circular path. Now the person on the merry-go-round feels a force on the ball which acts away from the center of the circular path, trying to pull the ball away from him. This force is called centrifugal force. A force acting on a body away from the center of the circular path is called centrifugal force. Its magnitude is same as that of the centripetal force, but you will be surprised to know that centrifugal force is not the force of reaction of centripetal force, as it is not a real force, although it appears to act in a rotating frame of reference. And since the man is a part of the rotating frame, he experiences the centrifugal force. As you can see in the diagram, it is acting in just opposite direction to the centripetal force. Actually, the tendency of the moving ball to remain in a straight path due to inertia of direction causes the man on the merry-go-round to feel this force, acting in a direction opposite to the centripetal force. But the only force acting here is the centripetal force. Now, let us try to understand this with the example of the merry-go-round. A man, let's call him Ravi, is standing on the ground outside the merry-go-round, sees the ball moving in a circular path. Let us see what he will observe when the string suddenly breaks. Now watch. Force. So we see here the person on the merry-go-round will see the ball moving radially away from him after the string breaks, while the man on the ground sees the ball moving along the tangent at the point where the string broke. If centrifugal force was a real force, then the man on the ground would also have seen the ball moving radially away and not along the tangent. This clearly proves that centrifugal force is not a real force, although experienced by objects which are part of the rotating system. Now something interesting here. Below are pics of a plane taking a loop in the sky. You see the plane upside down. See carefully. The ground is below, sky above. The pilot upside down. The paper glass in his hand is upside down. But you can see he is pouring water into his glass when he is upside down. This is due to centrifugal force. Also, the experiment we have done earlier, the water in the can did not fall out. You can see in the second figure, because the centrifugal force acting on the water, which is part of the rotating system, prevents it from falling out. Now the figure you can see here more clearly. Discuss about work. Work. Measurement and expression of work. In our daily life, the word work is used for some kind of exertion, physical or mental. But in physics, work is said to be done only when the force applied on a body makes the body move. For example, a horse pulling a cart, a boy pedaling a cycle. However, if a man tries to push a wall, the wall does not move. So scientifically, no work is done. In physics, work is said to be done only when a force is applied on a body and the body is displaced in the direction of the applied force. Measurement of work. The amount of work done by a force is equal to the product of the force and the displacement of the point of application of force in the direction of the force. According to the figure here, work is equal to F into S, where F is the force and S is the displacement in the direction of force. Expression for work. Now it is not necessary that force always causes the displacement of the body in its own direction. In such cases, we determine the amount of work done by the force in two ways. First, by finding the component of displacement in direction of force, and second, by finding the component of force in direction of displacement. Using the first method, by component of displacement in the direction of force. Look at the figure. According to figure, W is equal to, that is work is equal to PA into AB. Here PA represents the magnitude and direction of force, that is F, and AB is the component of displacement in the direction of force. The ball has actually moved from A to C, that is the displacement S. So in this case, W is equal to F into AB. AB is the component of displacement, or W is equal to F into S cos theta. Now here, cos theta is equal to AB divided by AC, and transferring AC to the other side, AC cos theta is equal to AB, and since AC is equal to S, so S cos theta is equal to AB. So we have W is equal to F into S cos theta. Now using the second method, by taking the component of force in the direction of displacement, we will get W is equal to NA into AC. Now look at the figure carefully. Can you see NA? That NA is the component of force and PN is the perpendicular on the dotted line. Now the small triangle also has the angle theta, which is vertically opposite angle. And AC here is equal to S as before. So W is equal to NA into S. So W is equal to F cos theta into S. Let us see how. In the small triangle APN, look at the small triangle APN, cos theta is equal to NA divided by PA. Transferring PA to the other side, we have PA into cos theta is equal to NA, and PA is equal to F, that is force. So F cos theta is equal to NA, that we have put in the formula, and W is equal to F into S cos theta. On rearranging, we get the same formula in both the cases. Now work is a scalar quantity. Its unit is the product of unit of force and the unit of displacement, that is Newton meter or joule. Note, here direction of force and displacement are the same. Now answer these questions. Question number 1. Define work and give its SI unit. When does a force do work? Question number 2. Can the unit of moment of force, Newton meter, be written as joule? Why? Question number 3. Which of these two quantities is a vector quantity? Why? Work or torque? Now, that's all for the day. That's all for today. Do your homework. Stay safe. We'll meet again soon. Till then, goodbye.